Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's me, Kimar, and I'm back with another video. And in today's video, we are going to be reviewing another celebrity brand, but this one is kind of with a twist. It's not even kind of, it's a huge twist. I'm gonna jump right in. The brand we are going to be reviewing is, drumroll please, quick drum roll. We got a lot to get to today. I'm going to be reviewing the Single AF Cocktail book by Ariana Madix. But I'm going to be reviewing this book while explaining the details of Scandoval to those that are not familiar. I bought this book from Better World Books. I ordered it on October 16th and I got it this past Friday, October 24th. Ariana Madix, most of y'all know her from Love Island. I don't even know if most of y'all, a lot of people watch Vanderpump Rules too. A lot of y'all know her from Love Island. A lot of y'all know her from Vanderpump Rules. I know her from Vanderpump Rules. I started watching Vanderpump Rules, I'd probably say sometime like early July. And I started from season 1. And it took me until like mid to end September to get to Scandoval, and my world was rocked. And from that day, I knew I had to figure out a way to talk about this on my channel. And since I'm reviewing celebrity brands, this is going to be the best way to do that. So I want to jump right in because there's a lot of lore we have to get through if you've never seen Vanderpump Rules. It would be easy, you would think, for me to just explain the cheating scandal from where it started, right? But there's so much to unpack that makes it such a scandal. For me, when I watched it, I was like, this is some of the most compelling reality TV I've ever seen in my life, because there are seasons and seasons and seasons of things that lead up to this cheating scandal. And Ariana's a main character in the cheating scandal. She's the one that gets cheated on. So yeah, let's get started. First, I want to do me up a little cocktail because this is going to be a little bit like a drunk history. So I picked out a couple of recipes I want to try. I'll insert a video of all the supplies I have next to me. And first, I'm going to try the Ride or Die. Really nice book, by the way. And it was only $5.91 on Better World Books. That release came out quite a while ago. And all the recipes are quite shady, girl. Quite shady. And I believe it was either used like new. Yeah, it was used in very good condition when I bought it. So Ride or Die is the recipe on page 140. And it says, serves one. From the very beginning of our relationship, I prided myself on being his ride or die. Whatever I was going through, whatever he was going through, he was my end game, my life partner. I'm the kind of person who will always be there for my partner. But that quality may have left me vulnerable in this case, but it's something I don't want to lose in myself in the future, despite the devastation I've experienced. If I were to lose that all-in part of my identity, it will make me a lesser version of myself. A good Mezcal Paloma is one of my ride or die cocktails. So easy to make and always reliably delicious. Drink it knowing that you can put this all behind you and there will be others deserving of your loyalty and love. Recipe calls for 2 ounces of Mezcal, 1 ounce of fresh grape juice, 3/4 an ounce of fresh lime juice, a ½ ounce of agave nectar, 1 to 2 dashes of chili bitters, which I couldn't find, so I don't have those, but I have regular bitters. Ice cubes, grapefruit soda, a grapefruit wedge to garnish. Let me go grab my measuring cup. I forgot that. Let me go grab that, and then we'll get into making this drink, and we'll start explaining Scandoval. So an ounce measures out to be about 6 tablespoons per Google. The AI overview, I think, though, so who knows how right that is. But I feel like it would be easier for me to measure the ounces in tablespoons and not a cup, because a cup is like 8 ounces, right? Who knows? Okay, so it says combine the mezcal, citrus juices, agave nectar, chili bitters in a shaker tin with ice and shake to chill. Strain into a Collins glass over fresh ice and top with grapefruit soda, then garnish with a grapefruit wedge. So I don't have a Collins glass, so I'm going to use one of these glasses, and I have some ice next to me. 2 ounces of mezcal. Maybe I should bring you guys down so you can see this, because why would y'all need to see me in this moment? So this is my mezcal that I got, Oaxaca. I don't know, y'all. It was just the cheapest one they have. Mezcal is expensive. All this stuff was expensive. Like the book, $5, easy, but the ingredients, girl, baby. Please like and subscribe. Let me just go ahead and say that now. So I needed to basically do 12 tablespoons of mezcal. So this is 1 tablespoon. 1, 2, 3, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. It's actually, that seemed like more than it was. It wasn't a lot. And then I need to add the citrus juices. So I have fresh grapefruit juice and fresh lime juice, which I just squeezed. So it says I need 1 ounce of the grapefruit juice and a 3/4 of an ounce. Oh, girl, I ain't gonna be able to do that math. So 1 ounce of grapefruit juice, which is 6 tablespoons. I believe. I hope it's not teaspoons. Act like I'm not sitting with a computer in front of me. 2, 5, 6, 3/4. So what's 3/4 of 6? If 6 is split into 4s. See, 6 doesn't go into 4s. I feel like it's like 1.5. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna do like 3 scoops. No, I'm gonna do 4 scoops. This was made using my juicer. I'll leave a video about my juicer. I need and I don't have chili bitters. I just have regular bitters, but I need 1 to 2 dashes. And then ice cubes. Okay, pretty easy. I got this little shaker from Walmart. Let's just pour that over it. Cute. I think I did. Oh, and I'm supposed to top it with grapefruit soda. Oops. Sorry, guys. Top it with grapefruit soda and a grapefruit wedge. This grapefruit soda it's a healthy soda, grapefruit spritz with probiotics and prebiotics. Gotta love those. And then I do actually have a grapefruit wedge over here. I'm trying to just put it on the side. Maybe I should have kept the skin on. There we go. Let's taste it real quick. Oh, that is very strong. It's tasty, but it is very strong. It's so pretty though. And really grapefruity. And you know what? It doesn't specify fresh grapefruit. So maybe if I would have used a grapefruit juice with like sugar in it, because I use like I just juiced the grapefruit. So maybe it would have been a little less harsh if I would have actually used like a grapefruit juice that has sugar in it. Let's start from the beginning. And I meant to get a whiteboard for this, but I'll just insert a graphic because there's a lot of names in this saga. And to understand you have to understand relationships to understand how dramatic of a scandal this is. So we're going to start at season 1, right? What is Vanderpump Rules? Vanderpump Rules is about a restaurant owned by Lisa Vanderpump from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So it's basically a Real Housewives of Beverly Hills spinoff. And it is about her restaurant, SIR. I believe SIR stands for Sexy Unique Restaurant. Yes, SIR stands for Sexy Unique Restaurant. So this show is about Lisa Vanderpump managing this group of like crazy young adults, or some of them really not so young, that work at SIR. So the cast that matters in this first season, you have Stassi. Stassi's like, she's kind of given to us as like she's the head girl in charge of SIR. She's the bully, you know, she's kind of the show's villain in the first season, right? And Stassi's like 23 in this first season. Stassi is dating Jax. Jax is a special type of villain that needs his own video, and I'll link to some videos about him. We can't even get into all of Jax's lore, but just know Jax is like 10 years older than Stassi, and he's her boyfriend, and he basically freeloads off of her, stays in her apartment. He's a wannabe model, but he works at SIR.
I'm like lost. I don't know what you want.
I've told you.
I don't even know what you want.
I've told you exactly what I want. I've told you exactly what I want.
So Stassi and Jax are in a relationship. Now, have you ever been in a situation where it's like you date somebody and your friends date that person's friends, so now y'all are all one big friend group? That's pretty much what's happening at this restaurant. So let me take a sip. Stassi has 2 best friends, Katie and Kristen, right? This is where things get confusing. So stay with me. Katie and Kristen. Katie dates Jax's friends, Tom Schwartz. So Jax has 2 friends. Both of them are named Tom. Katie dates Tom Schwartz. Kristen dates Tom Sandoval. For the purposes of this video from here on out, I will try to remember to call Tom Schwartz by Schwartz, which is what they call him on the show, and Tom Sandoval by Sandoval, which is what they call him on the show. So this is like a friend group. Stassi's with Jax, Katie's with Tom Schwartz, Kristen's with Sandoval, right? And then the only other character that really matters in this first season is Sheena Shea. Sheena's like the new girl coming in. She has kind of a bad reputation. She had a kind of like an affair with somebody's husband. So they don't really like her at first, but they kind of warm up to her. All down, swinging, feet to the ground, singing. This major drama in this first season is that Jax, it comes out that Jax cheated on Stassi. And he got a girl pregnant, and I think he had to pay for her abortion or something like that. He lies about this the whole season. Literally on the last episode of the first season, he admits that he cheated on Stassi with a girl in Vegas, got her pregnant, and had to pay for her abortion. So this is the first season. Stassi and Jax are no longer together. Great. Second season. Here is where things get even more interesting. The second season starts off. Remember I told you Stassi has a friend named Kristen. Kristen is dating Sandoval. In the second season, it kind of starts where we find out that Sandoval cheated on Kristen with somebody, right? So Kristen is like, rightfully so, very angry, very hurt. They've been together like several years at this point, like I think about 5 years. But they choose to stay together, but like they stand together, but Kristen's not being able to move on past it, right? So this whole season, Kristen and Sandoval are like the big issue. Now, at the same time, Lisa Vanderpump is very messy. She's very messy. You find out through the season. She is hiring for a new bartender. And this is where Ariana comes in. Ariana at the time was working at another one of Lisa's restaurants, Villa Blanca. And Ariana met Tom there. So Ariana and Tom Sandoval, Kristen's boyfriend. Ariana Madix, author of this cocktail book, creator of this recipe, knew Tom Sandoval and was now hired at SUR to work with him there, while Kristen and Tom Sandoval are going through this very difficult time in their relationship. Kristen also can kind of tell, like as a woman, you know when your man got a thing for a certain girl. Like men are not slick. Kristen's kind of like feeling insecure about them two working together. It's also known, or we find out during the season, that to some extent, they say all they did was kiss. These days, I think we kind of can assume other things happen. But at this time, Ariana and Tom had kissed when they were in Vegas at one point while he was still dating Kristen. So that was another reason Kristen didn't like her. And like Kristen really didn't like her. Hated her guts, right? Hated Ariana. But here's the kicker. As we go through, at one point in the season, Katie, the other friend of Stassi that is dating Tom Schwartz, she gets really drunk. They actually call her Tequila Katie. I love that name. I'm very much Tequila Katie coded, right? She gets drunk one night and she says that Kristen had sex with Jax. Remember, Jax is Stassi's now ex-boyfriend. And she says that, and Kristen's like, no, that didn't happen. No, like she's denying it. She's like, she puts it on some of her family members. I believe she's like, oh, my mom, or my brother, my nephews, my nieces, this didn't happen. Well, her and Jax are very similar. They both lie to the end about this. And then at the end of the season, you find out that while Kristen and Tom Sandoval were in a relationship, Kristen had sex with Jax multiple times on the couch in the apartment while Tom Sandoval was in the room. Remember, Jax and Tom Sandoval are also best friends.
I'm the number one guy in this group.
Are you f***ing kidding me, Jax? You, man.
Pretty much, Tom Sandoval cheated first, but Kristen cheated worse. And she was acting so hurt all season, only for it to come out that she also cheated on Tom Sandoval. And not only did she cheat on him, she cheated on him with one of his best friends. So this is a whole blow up at the end of the season. There are many physical altercations at the end of this season. I definitely recommend watching it. Stassi slaps Kristen.
You are a liar. You are a liar. No one believes you. You are a dirty whore. You are disgusting. Get the out of here.
Walk away right now, little girl.
Get the
for being her best friend, but also like, how are you my best friend? You slept with my ex. Stassi backhands Kristen. Tom Sandoval punches Jax in the face, makes him bleed. It's a hot mess, right?
We had this conversation.
You ever feel this?
Oh my god. Oh my god.
And this is now the end of Kristen and Tom Sandoval's relationship and the beginning of Ariana and Tom Sandoval's relationship. Now we have two relationships in the first season that are over. Stassi and Jax are no longer together. Kristen and Tom Sandoval are no longer together. Tom Sandoval is now able to openly date Ariana, who he was into from the jump. Like, let's be honest. He wanted her and he wanted any reason to be able to be with her. So now we're into season 3, right? In season 3, Kristen makes herself very hard to feel bad for. She's very unlikable. She's trying to get back with Tom Sandoval, even though he's super duper in love with Ariana at this point. Getting in dresses to go get mail from his house, like mail that's still going there because they lived together for a very long time. So she would still get mail over there and things. This looks like a small cup. This is a huge drink. Also at this time, another key player, very key player in Scandoval is introduced, and that is James Kennedy.
You idiot.
In Vegas?
It's not even connected to anything.
They need to take an order, Jax. They need to take an order. We need to get more cosmopolitan.
James Kennedy is in his early 20s, and Kristen and Tom Sandoval both are in their 30s. He is now dating Kristen, right? Even though he was friends with Tom Sandoval, he is now in a relationship with Kristen. But Kristen is very much still in love with Tom Sandoval. So it's like James is kind of just there, like in a way, like Kristen should have never been with him. He was way too young for her, and it just wasn't a good relationship, right? And so now Kristen is in another relationship. Tom Sandoval is with Ariana. And basically this whole season, Kristen and Tom Sandoval and Ariana, they just go back and forth all season long. Kristen does not like Ariana at all.
So, deja vu, right? Yeah. This time last year, I came up here crying, looked you in the eye, asked if you were f***ing around with my boyfriend. You told me no. I was not f***ing around with your boyfriend. So you're as big of a liar as he is.
She doesn't like her. And would, you know, if you were her, would you like Ariana? But at the same time, Kristen is like, she's not realizing that it's hard to see her as a victim because she did sleep with she did sleep with her boyfriend's best friend while they were still in a relationship. So it's kind of hard to feel bad for her.
I cheated on you.
I
cheated on you.
2 in 1 weekend.
What is your end goal with that?
So then let's move on to season 4. Oh, also, I forgot to mention Sheena for the last 2 seasons. Sheena ends up getting married to a guy, but they end up getting divorced pretty quick. So it really doesn't matter. But Sheena's kind of important to the story. So just know that she's there through all of this, right? I'm going to try to finish this drink before we get into season 4. I guess maybe I did use too much mezcal. I don't like it, y'all. I don't. I also think I just generally don't like the taste of grapefruits. Like that was so strong. I low-key feel like I need to chase it with water. I need to eat a piece of ice. The ice tastes like tequila. Okay, so I'm all done with that one. So we're going to try another recipe. I think I'm going to not do one with mezcal this time. So I'm going to try a recipe called My Sweet Honey now. I was excited about this recipe. My Sweet Honey. Serves 1. For all the toxic, hurtful pain to come, there was sweetness too. And this drink is a reminder of that. It was often hard to have our private lives unfold on the show. Being in the spotlight can take a toll on even the strongest of couples. But while we had our fair share of tumultuous moments, I always found comfort in how we would turn toward each other during those times. When people attacked our relationship, he always made me feel safe and seen. This tequila highball balances zingy ginger beer with a ribbon of honey syrup. For my sweet honey, that was. So this recipe seems pretty easy. It only has tequila, which I'm using Añejo Don Julio for that. It doesn't specify the tequila, so I'm using that. And then it has fresh lemon juice, honey syrup, which is just 1 part honey, 1 part water. And I already made that in advance. Ice cubes and ginger beer on top. Combine the tequila, lemon juice, and honey syrup in a shaker tin with ice. Shake to chill. Strain into a Collins glass and top with ginger beer. Like I said, I don't have a Collins glass, so I'm going to use just a regular glass like this. 1.5 ounces, so 9 teaspoons of tequila. Oh, I gotta open my tequila. Like I said, Don Julio Añejo. Listen, if you have an alcohol problem, I should have mentioned this earlier. Don't turn on this video. I don't want this encouraging you, you know? Like, if you got a problem with drinking, tap out of this one. There will be more. I have plenty of videos coming. 7, 8, 9. And then this is my lemon juice. And I just need a 3/4 ounce of that. So what did I do last time for 3/4 ounce? 4 tablespoons. That's probably not the right measurement, but. And then honey syrup. This is my honey syrup. And it literally tastes like honey. I tasted it. And then the ice cubes. I'm scared it's going to still have some mezcal chases in it. Mezcal traces. Oh, y'all can't even see it. I should have put it up so y'all can see it. And then I'm supposed to top with a ginger beer. And this is actually sugar-free ginger beer. I didn't mean to do that, but it's just what they had on the shelf that was right in front of me. Barrett's brand ginger beer. I never had ginger beer, I don't think. Okay, let's taste it. This is much better. Much better. Much better. I like this one. 10 out of 10 for this one. Season 4, we are introduced to Brittany Cartwright. Brittany Cartwright is now the girlfriend of Jax Taylor. Main thing you need to know about Brittany Cartwright is rotten hell.
You did have sex with her?
Yes, it's true. Yes.
Rotten hell.
Rotten hell. That's her main. Rotten hell. That's her thing, right? And she's with Jax Taylor. Probably the worst decision of her life, honestly. Like, looking hindsight, literally, here's the thing. Their relationship was just isn't about them, but just for a quick tidbit, you didn't even need hindsight to see that their relationship wasn't going to go well. It's Jax Taylor, baby. Brittany is introduced in this season. I believe that either Katie and Schwartz get engaged in this season, or she's giving him a pretty, like, intense ultimatum to propose to her, or they're going to break up. Those are the main things that happen in the season. Kristen and Ariana still don't really get along like that, but yeah, that's pretty much what happens. Stassi's kind of like not really involved in the season. And let me see, I believe maybe Lala was introduced in the season. Let me see. Yes, Lala also comes in the season. She's also an essential part of this season of Vanderpump Rules. Also, so in this season, at the end of season 3, Kristen and James Kennedy are now broken up, right? So James Kennedy is kind of like, he's a free man, right? But James Kennedy is very problematic. I think I forgot to mention that. Even though he's a young guy, like, he's super duper problematic, but he's single, so he's even worse, honestly. So in this season 4, we're introduced to Brittany Cartwright, who's with James, and then who's with Jax. And then we are also introduced to Lala. And Lala and James kind of have like a thing going on. They sleep together here and there. They're on and off. They make terrible music together. Like, it's so bad. That's all you need to know about them two being together. And then also Faith is introduced in this season, which she's the only Black, like, character to ever even be mentioned as like almost like adjacent to main cast. She still wasn't main cast. She kind of becomes important later because a lot of people are kicked off the show for like kind of being racist towards her. Like, they're being problematic at best, racist at worst towards her. But that's kind of some stuff that happened off camera, which I'm not super familiar with the off camera lore because a lot of this stuff happened years ago. Like, this season was in 2015. It was 10 years ago. So, and I wasn't watching it, and I just watched it this year. So I'm not quite too familiar with that lore, but just know that she is also introduced in this season, right? Season 4 of Vanderpump Rules. That's season 4. Pretty much the same old going on. Just now Jax has a new girlfriend. James and Kristen are now broken up. Lala is on the show. Lala also, she's very free with herself around other people's men. Like, she's not into them, but she will like get topless around other people's men. And she also ends up getting into a relationship with a married man. And we find out they're suspecting that it's a married man in the season. We find out later that he actually was a married man. They end up having a kid together. We'll get down the line. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, we are now in season 5. Season 5 is where we are introduced to a key player in Scandoval. Another key player. And yeah, Sheena was in the last season too. But season 5 is where we're introduced to another key player. And in season 5, we're introduced to Rachel Leviss. She is now dating James Kennedy. She's a pageant girl. She's in college, and she is now dating James Kennedy. Now, a lot of people hate James Kennedy because he has a habit of fat shaming people. That's like his go-to insult. Like, you're fat. Like, that's his first thing.
But she shouldn't be wearing those shorts. They're not very flattering. Lose some weight.
So people hate him. So by proxy, they hate her. Even though, who is she to control him? He's a grown man. But they're like, you're with him, so you're complicit, which I kind of agree with. But I do feel in some ways they were a little unnecessarily harsh to her.
Calls me stupid. Yeah. Like, do you think I'm stupid?
But that's kind of the main thing we need to know in this season. Rachel Raquel Leviss is introduced in season 5, and she is now dating James Kennedy. Kristen now has a whole nother boyfriend. I believe she's with Carter now. Ariana and Tom Sandoval are still together, and I believe Katie and Tom Schwartz get married in this season.
Never loved you more than this moment right here. And yeah, and with the
so they have a whole wedding in the season. Stassi's kind of back. Stassi had gone to New York for a certain amount of time, and then she came back. And Jax and Brittany Cartwright are still together. And yeah, I think that's pretty much all the major things. I believe Sheena and her husband may have split up during this season. I'm not quite sure. It may have been during the next season, but Sheena and her husband are on the rocks. Not really much to talk about in season 5. Season 6. Season 6 starts off with Brittany being cheated on by Jax. Big surprise, right? Like, Jax is a cheater. Like, I don't know why she thought he was any different. Brittany actually moved from Kentucky to be with Jax. And like I said, their story is not super important. I'll leave some links out, some videos about their journey and who they are as people, but they're just not the focus of this video. But just know that he cheated on her with Faith. The one black girl introduced on the cast, he cheated on her with Faith. So, very important thing to note there. Everybody else is still pretty stable. Tom Sandoval is still with Ariana. Lala has she's in this relationship with this married man that she won't mention his name, but we find out that his name is Randall. Kristen is with her guy. James is with Raquel. Sheena is either divorced or about to be divorced. And Sheena just has a lot of cringy relationship drama. Sheena's a person we would have to do a separate deep dive into. And Sheena has a memoir. So if y'all would like me to read her memoir, let me know. Sheena is like the definition of a male-centered girl. So that's all you need to know. When she gets a man, she is all in. She's overlooking every one of his flaws because she loves a man. Season 6, the major drama is that Brittany and Jax are going through him cheating on her. She literally won't leave him. Actually, she's almost rewarding him for cheating on her. She's like planning him birthday trips to Mexico. Like, and also one thing about this birthday trip to Mexico, Kristen and Ariana kind of become cool. Like, Kristen has moved on from Tom Sandoval finally. And in Mexico, Kristen and Ariana are like kissing. Like, they're cool. Like, they're not beefing over no man no more. Kristen is in her own relationship. Ariana's with Tom Sandoval. Kristen don't want Tom Sandoval very clearly. Even Kristen and Tom Sandoval are cool. Everybody's cool. So this is where you first see that at. And that was really nice to see. Like, yeah, we don't have to be beefing over this man forever. So this is season 6. I'm going to try to finish this drink and then we're going to get into season 7 because I'm hoping to be on drink number 4 by season 10. And I'm only on drink 2. So let me finish this drink and then we're going to go on to season 7. So I'm looking, and I might have been wrong about the Mexico trip. They go to Mexico a lot. I might have been wrong about the Mexico trip where Ariana and Kristen make up. It might have been in season 7. I just looked at that. So I want to clear that up. Listen, like I said, this is drunk history. So I'm going based off memory. It took me months to get to this season. I will leave in-depth deep dives with dates, times, names, people, pets, all of that in the description. Now I have to try another mezcal drink. I hate that for me. Wish I had one of those things like how they have at Starbucks and you can clear out the, rinse it out. Next recipe is the Oaxacan Flame. I'm gonna go light on the mezcal. I'm sorry, I can't. Like, it's disgusting. So the Oaxacan, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right either, guys. Should I look it up? Oh, definitely nothing. Oaxacan? Oaxacan is what Google says. I was not even anywhere close. Oaxacan. A few weeks after I found out about the affair, I traveled to Oaxaca, Mexico, for a friend's wedding, and that is when the first mental shift away from all the horrible feelings began. I was there with a very old friend group. Some of them have known me for 20 years when I was fresh out of college. The conversations we had really helped me connect back to the person I used to be before any of this stuff happened. They knew the true me. While I was there, I met a really lovely, incredible man. We stayed up the entire night after the wedding, just getting to know each other, talking about our families, dreams, and goals. It felt like divine intervention, the way he helped me during one of my darkest moments. He respected my request that nothing would happen beyond talking that night. He was excited to just spend more time together, getting to know the real me. That gave me the best feeling of hope for my future. It's time to say goodbye to old flames and welcome the new. This is not the end, it's just the beginning. Flex your bartender skills by flaming an orange pill. Here's how you do it. Using an abundance of caution, hold the orange pill about an inch above the cocktail with the skin side facing the drink. Light a match and hold it underneath the skin. Quickly flame and forcefully squeeze the pill to press the oils into the flame. Should I get a lighter for this? Anyways, I think she's still with the guy she's talking about here. I'm gonna see if I can find a lighter. I don't have a match. I don't have a lighter that I can do this with. This recipe calls for mezcal, nixta licor de elote, which I do have right here. Agave nectar, which I have, but I don't have the chocolate bitters. And it also calls for 1 large ice cube for serving, which I don't have that either. And the crazy part is, I think I was still pronouncing it wrong because it says Oaxaca. I was saying Oaxacan. Girl, I'm from Georgia. I'm supposed to combine the mezcal, the liqueur, the agave nectar, and the bitters into a mixing glass with ice. This is Nixta Liqueur de Elote. I don't remember if I said that, but yeah, I looked up in the store. It was like right there. And it says I need a half an ounce of that. So 3 of these little spoonfuls. 1, 2, 3. And then it says I need 2 ounces of mezcal. Oh, there's so much mezcal. I'm gonna be real precise with this one. 1, 3, 4. I don't think I can do that much. 5, 11, 12. And then I need 1/4 of an ounce. So that's like 1.5 tablespoons of agave nectar. I got this organic agave in the raw from Walmart. So I guess 1/4 is like 2. Wait, no, that's 1/3. It's like 1.5, I guess. 1 and some change. Something like that. Chocolate bitters I don't have, but I have regular bitters. It said 1 dash. An orange peel to garnish. But let's shake it first. This one actually calls for a rocks glass. I don't know. This one kind of looks like a rocks glass. So I'm going to use that. Oh, that wasn't a lot. I'm not going to... Look at my little orange peel. I'm not going to do too much. Okay. Oh, I'm supposed to be flaming it over the drink. And then quickly press the oils in the flame. Okay, nothing happened. Nothing. Okay, I'm gonna just stick it in there. Here's drink number 3. And this one is called the Oaxacan Flame. Mezcal is disgusting. Oh my gosh. So in season 7, this is where Brittany and Jax get engaged at like some type of seafood restaurant. They end up getting engaged. They end up staying together, like, because in the last episode you see Brittany leaving because Jax basically had to break up with her for her to leave him. Like that's crazy. Like he cheated on her and that wasn't enough. He had to break up with her. So you see Brittany leaving, but then they get back to the reunion and they're back together because Jax's father died. Brittany was really there for him during that time, so he was like, this is my wife. So they end up getting engaged. So there's a lot to do with that. And that's why I said I might have been wrong about the Mexico trip that Kristen and Ariana made up on, because it might have been in season 7, because apparently there's another Mexico trip. Also, Stassi is with a new guy named Bo. They end up getting married. They're still married to this day. But there's just a lot of growing up happening in this season. A lot of people are like solidifying their relationships. Tom and Ariana are still together. At some point in the season, I can't remember exactly what season, they do talk about how they're having like intimacy issues. They're not sleeping together as much. Ariana talks about some of the issues she has with her body related to like her ex. The main focus is that now Brittany and Jax are engaged and everybody's trying to be supportive, but Tom and Ariana are the only ones that are like, you guys, like, is he just getting engaged because his father died? He's just getting engaged because of that, like, because she was there doing that. Like, is it like a really good reason? They're the only ones that question that, which later on we find out they should have never got married, but we could have all guessed that, right? So then we have season 8, not like a super important season. I believe this is the season where they introduced a bunch of like new cast members. They introduced like a bunch of new cast members, and but Sheena was like the only one that really interacted with them. They didn't really bring anything to the show, and they only lasted this one season. To be honest, I don't even know their names. Like I know Dana, Max. Other than that, Charlie was the only one that lasted. Other than that, I don't really know them like that. Jackson, Brittany, they get married, I believe, in this season. Let me make sure. Oh, maybe not. Maybe they got married in the last season. Stassi gets engaged to her boyfriend, and this is a lot of people's last season. So, like I said with Faith, apparently they like accused her of stealing, and it was like this whole big blow up. I guess this got them kicked off the show. Like people wasn't having them calling the police on Faith, and she apparently didn't steal anything. So, Kristen, Stassi, Brittany, and subsequently Jax, they're all off the show after this season. This season is also the COVID season. This season happened the reunion happened in 2020. I believe a lot of the filming happened in 2019. Stassi does end up getting engaged though. Kristen does end up breaking up with her boyfriend that she got after James. Brittany and Jax are married. So they really weren't adding much to the show anyway. So they end up getting off the show and all this new cast is introduced. And honestly, season 8 was a hard watch. Like, I really can't tell you much what happened. Like, now let's get into season 9. So season 9, as far as the cast, you have Raquel, and there's a kind of like a gap between season 8 and season 9 because of COVID. So the season, just to put in perspective, the season 8 reunion is filmed in 2020. The season 9 reunion is filmed in 2022. So there's like a pretty good gap. Also, big thing I forgot to mention. A few seasons back, at season 5, Tom Schwartz and Katie's wedding, because they are important in this. Tom Schwartz and Katie's. Don't forget about them. I haven't mentioned them in a lot of this, but don't forget about them. They are important. They're at their wedding. Lisa Vanderpump, she's also important too. She wants to open up a new bar called Tom Tom with Tom Schwartz and Tom Sandoval. So they are partners in this venture, and I believe they might split a 5% share. Maybe they both have their own 5%, but either way, they don't have a big portion of investment in this bar. But the bar is called Tom Tom. So this bar is also opening, being really successful during this time, and that is very, very important to Scandoval. We are here for Scandoval. That is very, 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 very important for the fallout of Scandoval. So I forgot to mention that Tom Sandoval, who is with Ariana Madix, who is the author of this book, he now has a bar that he has a little bit of a stake in, but it's named after him. It's called Tom Tom. He has it with Tom Schwartz. They both have shares in this bar. So I want to make that clear. Every sip feels like I'm taking a shot. Season 9, there's a big cast shakeup. A lot of people are not back on the show, but they don't really add people to the show. This season, there's Sheena, and there's a big time jump. So there's Sheena and Brock. Sheena is now dating a new guy named Brock. They have a baby together. So they're together. And then you have Lala and her married baby father, but now he's divorced, Randall. They have a baby together. And then you have Katie and Tom Schwartz. Been married a while. They don't have a baby together, but they're still married. And then you have Ariana and Tom Sandoval, still together, not married. Also, I want to mention that Ariana mentioned not wanting, like, she didn't care about marriage and having kids and stuff like that. She's just like me, for real.
This would be the good kid's bedroom. Do you plan on having children?
No.
Yes.
How many?
0. At least like 3 or 4.
Okay.
That's disgusting.
That means you'll be pregnant for how many years? It takes 10 months to make a...
She didn't care about getting married, having kids. It just like wasn't a big priority for her. So at this point, her and Tom Schwartz have been together for like 7-8 years. And no sign of marriage or children or anything on the horizon. But they do have a house together. A lot of the cast is now seeing some money, and they all have their houses and they're living good. Like, you know. Oh, and James and Raquel are still together, right? And Charlie, randomly, like Charlie's still there for whatever reason, right? And this season, they kind of get into Brock's lore, Sheena and Brock's lore, which, like I said, Sheena is male-centered, like very, very male-centered. So the fact that she would get with a man like Brock is not surprising at all. Like Sandoval and Tom Schwartz are also kind of, I don't know if they introduced it in this season, but they're also trying to open a bar on their own because, like I said, they had a very small stake in Tom Tom, so they want to open their own bar, Schwartz and Sandy's. So I believe they do introduce it in the season. They want to open a bar called Schwartz and Sandy's. Well, Tom Sandoval wants to call it Schwartz and Sandy's. Tom Schwartz doesn't like that, and Katie doesn't like that. And Katie is married to Tom Schwartz. They have been married for a couple of years now. They've been together for a couple of years, and she wants to have a more active part in their ventures because, like, she's his wife. So it's like, if you're doing something with my husband, I'm involved because his money is my money. What's his is mine. So I got to make sure that everything is cool. But her and Tom Sandoval, I want to make something clear. Katie and Tom Sandoval have never gotten along. They have never, ever been cool. Like, Tom Sandoval didn't even want Tom Schwartz to marry Katie. Like, that's pretty much what happens here. But like I said, like, around this time, it starts to get real boring. If this season was just kind of like a filler. So now I'm going to finish this drink and then we're going to finally get into season 10, which is where Scandoval happens. The last drink we have is the My Last Word. I will say there were parts of this recipe that I could not find. Like, well, there's only one part. It's the green chartreuse liqueur. First of all, when I looked it up, that's like $80. Hold on, can I reapply my lipstick? Will y'all mind if I reapply my lipstick? That's like $80 though. And I live in a small town. I have no deuce. If I have one review on the book, I would love that they had, like, if you can't find this, get this. Because I couldn't find that. I couldn't find anything similar. So we just have to omit that altogether. Thank y'all for allowing me to reapply my lipstick. Okay, but here, this is what it says. Serves 1. My ex is one of those men who was always determined to have the last word in every argument. He'd be so upset if I didn't admit I was wrong, even when I knew I was right. This cocktail is a riff on the classic last word cocktail because this time I have the last word. Made with tequila instead of gin. I love how in my take, the chartreuse has a cool herbaceous. Oh! Herbaceous. I love how in my take, the chartreuse has a cool herbaceous quality that pairs well with agave spirit. Okay, so this recipe has 3/4 tequila, 3/4 fresh lime juice, ounces, 3/4 ounce. Fresh lime juice, 3/4 green chartreuse liquor, I cannot find that, or liqueur. 3/4 maraschino liqueur, which I did find that, and it's the same brand, Luxardo. It has 1 Luxardo maraschino cherry to garnish and a lime peel to garnish. Wow, I did really pick the hardest one for last, right? Okay, so let's add in tequila. It has less tequila. Only 3/4 of an ounce. I'm gonna use I can't use that mezcal. It is disgusting. I'm gonna use my Aneo Don Julio. I don't even know. I'm probably gonna use like 3/4 ounce of fresh lime juice. I don't have the green chartreuse liquor or any dupe for it, so I'm just gonna skip that. And then I'm gonna add 3/4 ounce of maraschino liqueur. Oh, okay. And this was expensive, whatever this is. Oh, it said to garnish, skewer the maraschino cherry and the lime. I don't have a skewer, so I'm just gonna put it in there. Then I do have really expensive maraschino cherries. If this one's nasty, it's not Ariana's fault because I didn't have everything I need. Let's taste it. I think I probably needed the oh my gosh. I think I probably needed the chartreuse liqueur. So we're into season 10 now. And up until this point, I haven't really mentioned much about James and Raquel because they're not super interesting. But I did forget to mention that in season 9, James and Raquel get engaged at the end of the season. They've been together a while at this point. Like, she was introduced in like season 5, I believe. So, you know, by season 9, they have been together for a good little minute. So they get engaged. But we find out in the season 9 reunion that their engagement ends up being called off by Raquel, right? So they're no longer together. Also, we find out that Lala and Randall are no longer together at the season 9 reunion. So now we're at the season 10 premiere. At the season 10 premiere, we find out that Katie and Tom Schwartz are now divorced. They've been together the whole entire show since season 1, but they've been married since season like 4, like 5-ish or whatever. They're not divorced. So there's a couple of people that are single in this season. Tom Schwartz is single. Katie is single. Raquel is single. James is now in a new relationship with a girl named Allie that he got with a few short weeks after he was with Raquel. So he's not single, but he's with a new girl named Allie. Ariana and Tom Sandoval are still together. And then Charlie is just there. She's just, I don't know how out of all the people in the new cast she stayed, but she's just there. Sheena is still with Brock, right? We're in season 10, which is the Scandoval season. During this season, one of the major dramas is Sheena and Katie are not cool because Sheena is basically, like I said, she is a male-centered woman. So she is encouraging Katie's ex-husband at this point, Tom Schwartz, to hook up with Raquel, who is James Kennedy's ex. The only thing that Tom Schwartz and Raquel end up doing is kissing, right? But this is pretty crazy because they both were they're both very recently out of relationships with people that are also in the friend group. Also, Katie's only rule for Tom Schwartz was for him to not deal with anybody in the friend group. This is like a big problem for her. It's a big fallout all season that all he did was kiss Raquel in Mexico at Sheena and Brock's wedding, because Sheena and Brock get married during this season. So they go to Mexico because they love Mexico. Tom and Raquel end up kissing at this wedding. Katie finds out. Katie is very, very upset about this, right? And that's like the major issue the whole season. But one thing you start to notice, because Raquel, this is the first season that we see Raquel as a single woman. You find that Raquel is one of those girls that, like, I don't know how to explain it. I'll give you an example that happened on the show. Lala was interested in a guy who actually ended up being, Garcelle's son. Y'all remember Garcelle from the Jamie Foxx show? She played Fancy in the Jamie Foxx show. Her son ends up being on Vanderpump Rules, and Lala is like attracted to him, but somehow Raquel ends up kissing him. Raquel is one of those girls, while she's single, you gotta hide your man from her. During this season, that happens with this whole thing with Garcelle from Jamie Foxx show, right? With her son. So this happens actually on Katie's like divorce celebration trip. So Raquel ends up leaving the trip because the girls are they're kind of like being kind of mean to her, but I'm not gonna say it's unjustified. Like, they basically were saying like, watch your man when he's around Raquel, because Raquel she's overly going, right? So yeah, so she ends up leaving this trip, right? And we're in season 10. So Katie's celebrating her divorce. Lala's into Giselle or Fancy from Jamie Foxx show's son, and Raquel kisses him. It causes this whole fallout. Raquel leaves the trip. She goes back to California and she goes to like a guys' night that Tom Sandoval and Tom Schwartz and a bunch of other guys are having, right?
Oh my God. Okay. I was being young and fun and single, living my life, and these girls like literally set me up to make me seem like I'm only chasing after guys that they're interested in.
Like I said, you're starting to find out more of like who Raquel is outside of her relationship with James, because their engagement has been called off. Also, during the trip, Ariana was supposed to be on the trip for Katie's divorce celebration, but her dog died. So this is all happening the same weekend. This guy's night that Raquel goes to because she left the girls' trip in Vegas for Katie's divorce, and Ariana's dog died. It all happens the same weekend, right? We go through the entire season, and there's this huge fallout between Raquel, Sheena, because Sheena encouraged Raquel to kiss Tom Schwartz. So there's this whole fallout between Raquel, Sheena, Tom Schwartz, and then Katie's on the other side. And I want to mention, between Katie and Tom Schwartz's divorce, It was almost like Tom Schwartz got all of their friends in the divorce. All of them took Tom Schwartz's fault. Took Tom Schwartz's side. Even though during the marriage, you could see that Tom Schwartz was like not a great husband, right? But they still all took his side over Katie's. So Katie had very few friends. Katie had so few friends, they literally had to bring Christina Kelly, which was a kind of like a side character on the first season. They had to bring her back for this season because Katie didn't have a lot of friends. So they had to bring back somebody to like interact with her, right? Well, I don't know if that's the real reason, but that's what it seemed like from a viewer, right? I would say about like episode probably like 11 or 12, somebody's like, no, but Raquel and Sandoval are very like weird. Like Allie mentions that she saw them out together one night at like 2 a.m. at the Abbey. If you're from LA, you know what that is. I'm from Georgia. I don't know what the Abbey is. Allie mentions that, and she was like, and everybody's like, no, it's no big deal. They're friends, right? Mind you, Raquel lives with Sheena right now because she does not live with James anymore. So she's living with Sheena. So Sheena is really protective over Raquel. Ariana and Tom Sandoval are really protective over Raquel. Those are like her main group, right? But Allie is like, something is weird about that. Like, I know she kissed Tom Schwartz, because remember, she kissed Tom Schwartz at Sheena's wedding. But something is weird about her and Sandoval. And everybody's like, no, nothing's weird about them. Like, they're just really close friends. He's just there for her. They're just close friends, right? Even Ariana's like, no. But then you have season 10, episode 13. I went back and watched this episode like this past week. And this episode, if you don't watch any other episode of Vanderpump Rules, watch season 10, episode 13. The editing, listen, production was working overtime. This episode is so good that you know it's not scripted because nobody could script anything this good. Throughout the season, like I said, Ariana's dog dies, but also Ariana's grandmother dies. So she has to go back and be with her grandmother, right? She's away for a little bit to deal with that. So let me paint the whole picture for you. So James and Lala are having a conversation, and they're like, yeah, Tom Sandoval had Raquel over the other night while Ariana was away. Katie is the one that told me because Katie found out from Ken, Lisa Vanderpump's husband. So they fast forward. Rewind. That's what fast back means. Rewind back to Katie at Lisa Vanderpump and her husband, Ken Vanderpump, their house. And Ken Vanderpump comes in and says, I can't believe Tom Sandoval had Raquel over.
Of all gossip bombs.
I can't believe
what?
That Tom Sandoval had Raquel over when Ariana's away.
I know.
In the jacuzzi as well.
What?
And she stayed all night, yeah?
I know.
Are you lying?
Believe that.
Are you spreading rumors?
Marky, come on.
How does he know?
I told him earlier.
But what do you know?
He drops that tea and walks out the room. Lisa is like, yeah, Raquel was over at Tom Sandoval's house while Ariana was away. She was in the jacuzzi with Tom Schwartz and Tom Sandoval. Fast forward back to Lala and James Kennedy's conversation. Like I said, James Kennedy is in a whole other relationship. He's not with Raquel anymore. Raquel called off their engagement. Fast forward to their conversation. Lala is like, Ken knew this because Raquel was late to work. Because Raquel was like the only one that still actually worked at Sir Sexy Unique Restaurant from season 1. She's the only one that really still worked there. So she was late to work there. Then we flash back to Lisa Vanderpump asking Raquel why she's late. And Raquel's like, oh, I was at Tom Sandoval's house. I was in the jacuzzi with him and Tom Schwartz, Katie's ex-husband, former husband, and we were just hanging out. Fast back to Lala and James' conversation. You know, I think she spent the night. Fast back to Lisa Vanderpump's conversation. She calls Tom Sandoval, and she's like, why did you have Raquel over? And he's like, oh, she dipped out. He keeps saying dipped out. She dipped out. Lisa Vanderpump's like, I'm not a dude. I'm not a dude. What does dipped out mean? So clearly he's lying, right? And also in a previous interview with him, they asked him like, "Is there anything going on between you and Raquel?" They basically were like, "Are you sleeping with Raquel?" He was like, "Sleeping with Raquel? What? Sleep? Raquel? Sleeping with Raquel? No, I'm not sleeping with Raquel." Guilty AF. Guilty AF. Like this book is single AF. Guilty AF is how he responded. Lisa calls him, is like, "Why was Raquel over there?" He's like, "Oh, she dipped out," but he's not really like expounding on dipped out. When did she dip out? And Lisa Vanderpump is in her 50s, 60s, I don't know. So she doesn't know what dipped out means. She's like, "What do you mean by dipped out? Did she stay the night or did she not?" We find out she stayed the night. Forward back to, or rewind/forward back to Lisa Vanderpump and Katie talking, and she's like, "Yeah, he said she dipped out, but she did end up staying the night." This is how we find out that Raquel stayed the night at Sandoval's house after being in the jacuzzi with him and Tom Schwartz by herself. She stayed at Tom Sandoval's house, but somehow we move on from this conversation. This is episode 13 of season 10. They still have an episode 14. In episode 14, Katie and Raquel get into it. Tom Sandoval jumps in as if he's personally invested in this argument, even though he has a girlfriend, and his girlfriend is actually crying while all this is going on. But we kind of like move on past this, right? Also, I want to mention that Ariana and Katie are opening up it's open now, but at the time they were working on opening up a sandwich shop called Something About Her. So this was the big like event at the end of season 10, the taste testing for their sandwiches for Something About Her, right? But he's like defending Raquel against Katie regarding Raquel's relationship with Tom Schwartz. What does got to do with you, Tom Sandoval? What does this have to do with you? So then we get to the Scandoval episode, which let's be honest, production ate with the whole lead up to this. Whoever came up with the name Scandoval was a genius. So the episode starts with confessionals of Tom Sandoval and Ariana, and the person behind the camera is like, "Are you guys ready for this?" And they're both like, "No." So first of all, let's get into how Ariana found out that Tom Sandoval was cheating. So they explained this. How she found out. They were at Tom Tom, which is why I said this is an important part of Scandoval. They were at Tom Tom, the bar. Tom Sandoval is performing with his band, which is like, I think it's called Tom and Sandoval and the Most Extras, or Tom and the Most Extras, something like that. And his phone falls out of his pocket, like divine intervention. Somebody gives the phone to Ariana for her to hold on to. And Ariana's like, something told her, go through his phone. And mind you, by this point, so season 3 of Vanderpump Rules was around 2015. This point is around 2023. So they've been together about 8 years, probably 9, because I believe they filmed in like 2014. So they have been together closer to 9 years, 2014 to 2023, right? Something tells Ariana to check his phone. She goes through his phone and she finds a screenshot between him and Raquel, James Kennedy's ex-fiance, who she had defended when nobody else liked her. She defended this girl. When nobody else wanted to deal with her, she defended her. She finds some type of screenshot of them on FaceTime. I believe it's something suggestive. They don't ever really go into what was in the screenshot, but I believe like a screenshot of them on FaceTime is one thing, but something made her think like, oh, something's happening between them, right? Tom notices that she's gone through his phone and she's found this thing, so they go outside. And Ariana is like, what's going on? Like, let me know, what are you sleeping with her? Like, what's going on? And so Tom is pretty much, he literally has to admit it. So at the same time, Raquel and Sheena, who Raquel is living with Sheena, remember I said that, they are in New York filming Watch What Happens Live. So they're in New York. Tom and Ariana are in California at Tom Tom, West Hollywood. Sheena she asks Raquel, she's like, what's wrong? Because I guess she's noticed that Raquel's looking somewhere or something. And Raquel is like, oh, I've been like sleeping with Tom Sandoval, and Ariana just found out. So listen, y'all. Imagine You have a best friend. Like, because at this point, they are very close to Raquel. Ariana is very close to Raquel. And they're sleeping with your boyfriend of 9 years. You've been cool with this girl. You've been defending this girl for like upwards of like 4 or 5 years against everybody. And she is sleeping with your boyfriend of 9 years. Imagine. Imagine the damage you would do if you found that out. Sheena finds this out, and apparently her and Raquel get into a physical altercation. There's two stories. Raquel says Sheena punched her and she filed a restraining order on her. Sheena says she pushed Raquel. She says she can't form a fist because she has nails, which is BS. Like, she could definitely form a fist. She would break her nails, but whatever. I think there's something that happened. Sheena says she pushed Raquel. Raquel says Sheena punched her. I think there is something in between that happened. Like, I feel like what probably happened is Sheena mushed Raquel like that. Like, once she found out what was happening, because Raquel basically confessed. And then, obviously, this is Scandoval. Tom Sandoval has been caught sleeping with one of Ariana's best friends, Raquel, who is James Kennedy's ex-fiance, during him and Ariana's 9-year relationship. So just for context, when we mentioned that Raquel went to the guys' night and she left Vegas with all the girls and Ariana's dog had died that same weekend, apparently after that guys' night, that was the first time that Tom Sandoval and Raquel had sexual relations with each other. Apparently it happened in the car. This is all alleged because they're both liars, so who will ever know the truth? But that's why that night came into play, because apparently that was the first time that Tom and Raquel ever had sex. Ariana finds this out, and then literally Bravo picks up their cameras like 2 days later. They was giving very much Zeus during this time, Zeus Network. They pick up their cameras and they record the whole fallout of the situation. Thankfully, you know what, Ariana, shout out to you. She leaves him.
Do you want anything?
For you to die.
Well, that's inevitable.
How was your night at Raquel's last night?
I was at Schwartz's.
You were also at Schwartz's when you were together on FaceTime, so you being at Schwartz's doesn't really mean anything. Still haven't said sorry for what you actually did.
She leaves him. She does not forgive him for this, because cheating with somebody's best friend is absolutely insane. He ends up saying that, he was unhappy in their relationship and this and that. He wanted to be with Raquel. There's like a whole special on it, so I'll just kind of breeze through this part. He wanted to be with Raquel. Raquel ends up checking into a mental health facility, and she kind of cuts him off basically after that, which is a good thing, because at this point, Tom Sandoval is like 40 years old. Raquel is about 28, 29, so there's at least a 10-year age gap. So she feels very manipulated to this whole situation. Both of their reputations go downhill. Remember the bar I told you about that him and Tom Schwartz, Katie's ex-husband, wanted to open up? It ends up having to close down because of the fallout from the cheating scandal. Ariana gets super famous, which is like the most important part. She gets a lot of brand deals. She obviously makes this cocktail book. She gets on Love Island, which is kind of like a major part of like their relationship fallout, because in season 10, like towards the end, they talk about like how they're not being as intimate, and Ariana's like, I want to spend more time with you. Like, I want us to like spend more time together outside of sex, because then it would make me like more into having sex with you. And she was like, you don't ever watch Love Island with me. Like, she literally specifically mentions Love Island. Now she's the host of Love Island. She's doing better than probably every cast member that's ever been on that show. Like, she's doing amazingly. Tom Sandoval's life gets worse, as well as other people that are associated with him. Ariana's life gets better. And it's terrible, but it's super interesting to see, because like I said, Tom and Ariana got together in season 3 of Vanderpump Rules. So 9 years of being together, and he cheated on her. And that is Scandoval. So I hope I clearly represented why this is such a crazy, crazy thing. Now I'm in season 11 of Vanderpump Rules. Tom Sandoval and Ariana still live in the same house, but they are not together anymore. Ariana is now with the guy that was mentioned in the drink. Was it the Flame? I don't have the pronunciation of it, but the drink I did before this one. She's still with him, and they end up having to sell their house that they have together. Like, they were literally supposed to be life partners. They have to sell their house. I don't know if Tom Sandoval still lives in it, but Ariana is leaving the house. Ariana is low-key like, if you're cool with him, you're not cool with me, which is facts. Like, honestly, if you can be cool with somebody that broke my heart, then you're not cool with me. And a lot of people chose to try to be cool with him because they obviously wanted a check. So like Lala, Sheena, all those people chose to try to be cool with him. James Kennedy, all those people tried to be cool with him so that he can keep the show going and keep their check. And Ariana was not feeling it. She was falling out with all of them left and right, period. So basically now there's no season. They had a season 11 after Scandoval, but they're revamping for season 12, which I think they should probably just lay the show to rest. Like I don't think there's any way to revamp it. Like the show was great as it was. I don't know if people will accept it with the new cast, but they're trying to revamp the show. They're going to get rid of the whole cast or whatever. That's pretty much Scandoval. Like I said, there's more sober and in-depth analysis of this scandal on YouTube, but this is mine while reviewing the cocktail book Single AF. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're interested in hearing more of my thoughts and opinions or just more details, comment below if you're like confused about anything I said, because I've just been yapping. So I probably forgot details or didn't go back and explain details. So let me know if you have any questions. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll leave some links below for you guys to check out if you're more interested in learning more about Scandoval. So please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Please tell your friends to subscribe. And I'll definitely see you guys in the next video. Bye.